Welcome back to AM Northwest. Whether you're a true believer or a diehard skeptic, you can't deny America's obsession with Sasquatch. Here to share his quest for answers, we welcome the author of The Secret History of Bigfoot, Field Notes on a North American Monster, journalist John O'Connor. Great to have you with us. And how interesting that the coincidence of having Bobcat here, who's a big, Sasquatch believer.
Yeah. He's famous in that community, definitely. And his movie, as I was just saying, is one of the better Bigfoot movies at Willow Creek. Yeah.
You think it's one of the better ones?
Yeah, definitely. It's there's a lot of bad Bigfoot movies out there, as I think even Bigfooters would admit. And his is one of the better ones.
Oh, that's great.
Right up there with Harry and Henderson.
Love Harry and the Hendersons.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about why you're a journalist. Why go investigate Bigfoot? Because you were a skeptic to begin with.
Yeah, I'm definitely a skeptic, and I am interested. I've written a lot about kind of marginal subcultures, and
which are fascinating.
Yeah, and there's so many, and just I'm interested in why people, like otherwise very sane, lucid people, believe in unbelievable stuff. And Bigfoot also just kind of circled a lot of things I'm interested in: wilderness and the desire to have more wildness in our lives. I think, in the sort of domesticated modern life. I think there's just a yearning to have kind of more wildness in our lives.
You touch on, is it that we also want to have a monster to believe in?
Yeah, we like our myths, that's for sure. Yeah, American myths die really hard. Whatever mythic yearning that they evoke in us, just they stick around for a really long time and are passed down, through the centuries. And there's been a Bigfoot-like creature in American mythology and folklore since going back as far as we know to indigenous legends, and it really is almost a kind of cross-cultural, trans-historical phenomena.
Studying this, is it called cryptozoology?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
So that's just it means the study of like legendary and mythological creatures. Yeah, I mean it's. This might ruffle a few feathers out there, but it's basically pseudoscience. It's the attempt it's studying the Loch Ness Monster and Chupacabra and Bigfoot and that sort of thing.
You did a lot of traveling in your research, and let's talk about your travels here in the Northwest. You came during the summer. It was that brutal heat wave that we had.
Yeah, well, it was the end of the summer, beginning of the fall, and it was heat wave and a lot of wildfires.
Yes,
I remember being a couple of places and having this, rubbing the smoke out of my eyes.
Yeah.
But I spent 10 days here in Washington and Oregon and doing a lot of hiking and camping and kind of hanging out with Bigfooters and just exploring and seeing this part of the country, which I'm ashamed to say I'd never been to before.
Yeah, isn't it beautiful?
Yeah, amazing, yeah.
So, as Bobcat said, Squatchers, they like to watch for Sasquatch. So you hung out with them.
Yep.
Tell me about some of your most interesting interviews.
Yeah, I wanted to write about like a sort of rank and file Bigfooters, ordinary Bigfooters who most people don't know of. They might know names like Cliff Barrickman and James Bobo Fay from the show Finding Bigfoot, but I really wanted to write about ordinary Bigfooters, and I talked to probably like 100 or so folks over the course of a year researching and got a lot of testimonials, firsthand accounts of Bigfoot sightings, and that was kind of the most interesting and kind of almost moving part of it for me was hearing these almost life-transforming experiences for a lot of people. Having had this encounter, and even if I didn't necessarily believe them, people are telling you face to face, or not disbelieve them, but disbelieve Bigfoot somewhat, and but having them tell you like face to face this very profound experience that they had was really. Was really interesting, and that happened over and over again, and really, really hard to discount.
I think, don't you think some of it is we enjoy having this, like you said, mythology. We enjoy that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we have the movie Harry and the Hendersons, as you said. Kind of made Sasquatch a nice guy.
Yeah.
He wanted to be with people. He liked hanging out. With the people. But in reality, or I shouldn't say in reality, but that's not. He's supposed to be more of a monster.
Well, the typical image of Bigfoot is like hairy. I mean, I think there's definitely some ambiguity there. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, because I think a lot of the desire is for the thrill of the chase and some element of fear in chasing this kind of unknown monster through the woods. I think
Right.
that's what drives a lot of people.
Yeah, right.
But typically, the bloodthirsty Bigfoot that in Bobcat's movie, you
Yeah.
know, that is outside the norm. It's
Yeah.
typically more of a family-friendly.
Well, here in Portland, we've seen Sasquatch on a unicycle. So
Oh,
we
really?
we love. See, here he is. We caught him on a unicycle crossing the bridge there. So just so you know,
Oh,
we
right.
love him everywhere.
Okay, good to
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you ultimately find out, and what did you ultimately decide?
Well, I have a very cagey answer to that, but
But you went squatching.
I did. I went on a bunch of, what Bigfooters call expeditions around the country.
Yeah.
Out here, back in Massachusetts, where I live, Kentucky, and Washington, Oregon, and also Texas and Arkansas. And I did not see anything that suggested to me that there was a 700 or 800 pound
Gotcha.
mammal roaming the American wilds undetected. But
Gotcha.
I certainly understand
Why we love him.
the desire to
Yeah.
believe and the desire to have some kind of mystery and magic in your life. you know.
Absolutely. You're at Powell's tonight.
I am, yep.
Powell's Cedar Hills at 7 p.m. in Beaverton. We're going to put all the information for you on our website at k2.com. The book again is called The Secret History of Bigfoot. John, thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right, we'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away.